English Grammar, Lesson 29. Topic: Tag questions. Part 1. Listen.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks. Thanks for joining me.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so let's begin, shall we?
Yes.
You're a teacher, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And what do you teach?
I teach preschool 3 and 4-year-olds.
Sounds like fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
And if I'm not mistaken, your mother is a teacher too, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
And does she teach preschool?
She actually teaches elementary school. She teaches 2nd grade.
Okay. Now, did her being a teacher influence your decision to become a teacher?
It did, actually. I went to college and I majored in English, and then after college I started working at a preschool and I fell in love with it, so I took up a teaching career.
Oh yeah, it's something that you fall in love with, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Teaching is rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great career, especially if you love children.
Yeah. Julie, I'm sure like most other kids, you dreamed about other kinds of jobs, didn't you?
Oh yes, I definitely did.
So what did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. I loved English and writing and reading.
Julie, I'm not asking too many questions, am I?
No, not at all.
I just have one more actually, and that
Sure.
is, what do you like most about being a teacher?
Well, I really love children, and I love teaching them different things, teaching them about the world, and I really love watching them grow up and just learn a lot, grow up developmentally, so that's probably my favorite thing.
Answer the questions. 1. How certain was Jennifer that Julie's mother was a teacher? A. Very certain. She knew it for a fact. B. Somewhat certain. She needed to confirm. C. Not at all certain. She was surprised to learn the truth. The answer is B. I asked a question to confirm. Your mother's a teacher too, isn't she? Listen again.
And if I'm not mistaken, your mother is a teacher too, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
And does she teach preschool?
She actually teaches elementary school. She teaches 2nd grade.
2. Do Julie and Jennifer feel the same way about teaching? Yes or no? The answer is yes. When I comment that teaching is something that you fall in love with, Julie readily agrees. She said, "It definitely is." Listen once again.
I started working at a preschool and I fell in love with it, so I took up a teaching career.
Oh yeah, it's something that you fall in love with, isn't it?
It definitely is.
3. Did Jennifer assume that Julie had considered other jobs as a child? Yes or no? The answer is yes. I said that I was sure she had dreamed about other kinds of jobs, but then I added on this question, didn't you? Julie confirmed that yes, she had. Listen again.
Julie, I'm sure like most other kids, you dreamed about other kinds of jobs, didn't you?
Oh yes, I definitely did.
4. What did Julie want to be as a child? Do you remember? An actress, a writer, or a singer? The answer is B. Listen again.
So what did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. I loved English and writing and reading.
And our last question, number 5. Julie went to college, didn't she? A. No, she only considered going. B. No, but she plans to go. Or C. Yes, she did. English was her major. The answer is C. Listen again.
I went to college and I majored in English, and then after college I started working at a preschool and I fell in love with it, so I took up a teaching career.
When you tag something on, you add it on. So a tag question is a question added on to a larger statement. Let's look at two examples you've already heard. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? Where's the tag question? At the end. Added on. You're a teacher, aren't you? Here's the tag question. A tag question is a short question added on to a larger statement. These two examples show the two most common reasons why we use tag questions. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? Is this a real question? Am I really asking someone to give me an answer? No, this is not a real question. It's a rhetorical question. I'm simply commenting. I'm commenting about my profession. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? If anything, I expect agreement, but I don't really need an answer. So the first most common reason is simply to comment. Look at the second example. You're a teacher, aren't you? Is this a real question? Yes. I'm asking to confirm my information. I believe this to be true, but I need my listener to confirm. Second reason, to confirm. There's a connection between the use of a tag question and its pronunciation. When we're simply commenting, the pattern often is to have falling intonation. Our voice goes down. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? When we're confirming, we're asking a real yes-no question, so our voice tends to go up. The pattern is to have rising intonation. You're a teacher, aren't you? These are patterns. This one is very consistent. This one, you might see rising intonation with a comment, but the usual pattern is simply to go down, to have falling intonation. Listen again. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? You're a teacher, aren't you? Tag questions need question word order. So when we form the tag question, we always have verb plus subject. The subject will be a pronoun subject. So for example, teaching is rewarding. Do you remember the tag? Isn't it? Teaching needs a pronoun subject, it. Verb plus subject. And the verb is a form of be or an auxiliary verb, a helping verb. So in the main statement, if there is a form of be, use that form of be. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? You'll also notice that the two parts have to be opposite. If this is affirmative, then our tag question must be negative. Teaching is rewarding, isn't it? Look at the second example. She's been teaching for a while. What's our pronoun subject? She. Is there a form of be? No, but there is an auxiliary verb. In fact, there are two helping verbs. We're going to use the first. That is a contraction for has. She has been teaching. So here's our subject and here's our verb. We invert them, so we have question word order. verb plus subject. And we know that this is affirmative, so our tag is going to be negative. She's been teaching for a while. Hasn't she? So if we have a form of be or an auxiliary verb in the main statement, we'll use those verbs in the tag question. Look at the third example. Julie fell in love with teaching. Here we don't have a form of be and we don't have an auxiliary verb in the main statement. Because fell is in the simple past, when we form a question in the simple present or simple past, we use a form of do. Do, does, or did will be our auxiliary verb in the question. So, Julie fell in love with teaching. We're going to make it negative because this is affirmative. Didn't she? She, the pronoun subject for Julie. Let's form 3 more tag questions. Here's the first. She's not at school. What's the tag? Here's our subject. We have a form of be. Let's use it. And we'll make sure that the 2 parts are opposite. This is negative. Is our tag affirmative? Yes. So it's correct. She's not at school, is she? Here's our second example. She hasn't received her degree yet. What's the tag? Here's our subject. Do we have a helping verb? Yes. Let's use it. Are the 2 parts opposite? Yes. She hasn't received her degree yet, has she? Here's our third. She doesn't teach English. What's the tag? Here's our subject. Now this is the simple present in the negative. It already has a helping verb. We'll use it. Are the 2 parts opposite? Yes, they are. She doesn't teach English, does she? Now be careful. The main statement might be negative, but not necessarily with the word not. For example, we could say, she's never at school, is she? Never is a negative word. That makes our main statement negative. And the tag question must be affirmative. She's never at school, is she?
We've covered the basics in Part 1. Coming up in Part 2, we'll address other forms and other uses of tag questions, and I'll offer you some practice.